All right, so I'm going to go over numbers 2, 5, and 6, but I'm just changing the numbers. I can only do one at a time, but it's all going to be in this video, so it might be a long video, but hopefully this helps. So for number 2, I have my example, which is y equals -1/4 x plus 1. That's a plus, hard to see. X plus 1, x minus 3. So the first thing you want to do is find the x-intercepts by changing the signs of the numbers in the parentheses. So that would be x equals 3 because it's -3 here, and x equals -1 here. So you can plot the x-intercepts like right away. The next thing you want to do is find the vertex by adding -1 and 3 together and dividing by 2. So you're just adding these two x-intercepts and then divide by 2. -1 and 3 is 2. 2 divided by 2 equals 1. So that's the x coordinate of your vertex. You need to now plug that in to get y. So I have y is equal to -1/4, 1 plus 1 times 1 minus 3. So I'm replacing x in the function with 1. I'm going to do 1 plus 1, which is 2. 1 minus 3, which is -2. And we talked in class about how that's how I know I'm right, is because these numbers are opposite. So you can either use a calculator or whatever. You're going to do 2 times -2 to get -8. And you're taking, sorry, -4. And in our case, we're taking a fourth of -4, which would be y equals +1 because there are two negatives. So my vertex was at 1, 1. So I think the problem asks you to graph. Just do the best you can. Worst comes to worst, you sketch the graph and send me a picture. You just want to hit parabola, pick an x-intercept and the vertex, and it should make the u for you. I've noticed if I pick yeah, just try that. So you would want to pick for the problem I just did, I would plot the points 3 and -1, and then 1, 1, and then I would make the u. And there's that function. Okay, so the next problem, I have to kind of erase this one real quick. I think numbers 5 and 6 were factoring or solving by factoring. I have to look. So I'm on question 2. That's why. So question number 5 is solved by factoring, right? So let me come up with a problem real quick. Oh, sorry, this is taking me a second. Okay, so this problem here has a couple different things that you're doing. The first thing is that you are solving. Let me go back to my video so I can see myself. So you're solving. So you're going to do the crisscross. But before I do the crisscross, this is specific to number 5. If you look, every number that you see, not this, well, this one is different, but look at every number. And I notice that they're all divisible by the number 3. Yours is divisible by a different one, but I would look at that. So I actually divide out the common factor of 3 completely out. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I'm dividing everything by 3. I'm going to get 2x squared plus 6x plus 4 equals 0. Oh, they're all divisible by 6. I just lied to you. But do it this way for right now, just because when you're done dividing out the common factor, you still have an a value. But I took out the wrong common factor. So that's what you want to do first. So make sure you do that. Then you want to go to the crisscross where you multiply a and c together. So 2 times 4 is 8, 6 at the bottom. The two numbers that multiply to get 8 and add to 6 are going to be 4 and 2. So again, I'm going to break up my a value. So it's 2x plus 4 and 2x plus 2 equals 0. Now, when you're solving, you're going to reduce these. So I can reduce by 2 all the way through. So this would be x plus 2 and x plus 1. And then now I can say, well, x plus 2 equals 0 and x plus 1 equals 0, and I can solve. I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides, x equals -2. I'm going to subtract 1 from both sides, and x equals -1. So that's how you get an answer for solving. For number 6, I believe this is the problem where you have to set it equal to 0 first when you're solving. So again, I want to just come up with a problem for you. So I'm just coming up with okay, so this is kind of similar, not exact, but very similar. Okay, so in this problem here, again, similar to that question, you want to make sure you set it equal to 0. So that means I'm going to add x squared to both sides. I'm also going to subtract 4 from both sides. So I can add up the x squares because they're like terms. I have 2x squared plus another x squared to get 3x squared. In your example, you also want to add the x's. So those are like terms. But for my example, I'm going to keep the x plus x and then write -4 at the end. Set that equal to 0. Now I'm going to finish solving. I'm going to multiply 3 times -4 to get -12 and 1 at the bottom. The numbers that multiply -12 and add to 1 are 4 and -3. So I want to break up the a value as 3x plus 4 and then 3x minus 3 equals 0. Reduce the factors if I can. 3x plus 4 cannot be reduced, so I leave it. 3x minus 3 is x minus 1. Now I can finish solving. If I add 1 to both sides, x equals 1. And then the other one, I want to set 3x plus 4 equals to 0. Subtract 4. I get 3x. That's a 3. It's hard to see. Sorry about that. 3x equals -4, and then divide by 3. So I get x equals 1 and x equals -4 thirds. And that's it. Please let me know if you have any more questions or if this helped or didn't help. We can always schedule a Google Meet at some point between the next couple of days. All right. Have a good Thanksgiving.